Previously on the Johnson Brothers.
Why is he in 1957?
Cody, we need to get you out of here. You're seriously disrupting the past. Whoa! Aliens have now enslaved humanity. Dang.
I traveled back in time to warn people about a bad game. When Dr. Chang brought me back to the present, I should have known things would never be the same. We came back to the year 2022, and the world was overrun. I wish I could say we could take the fight back, but the aliens already won.
Cody, why are you talking like Dr. Seuss?
We used to have Bandicoot burritos, but the Bandicoots were all through. We still have Final Fantasy Frito pies.
Shut your mouth! Here, I got a plan for us to get by our hostile captors.
Oddworld Abe's Oddysee, developed by Oddworld inhabitants and published by GT Interactive. This game was the brainchild of Lorne Lanning. Lanning was studying photorealism and commercial illustration at the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and would eventually find himself in the California Institute of the Arts in Valencia, California, graduating with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and Character Animation. This is why Oddworld has such a well-created and unique set of creatures. The man is a legendary creator of worlds. He would meet Sherry McKenna in Hollywood, and after convincing her of the hard sell of founding a video game company, the two founded Oddworld Inhabitants in 1994. The first game in the series was slated to be called Soulstorm, but ended up being called Oddworld Abe's Oddysee. The first Oddworld game was released on September 18, 1997 for the Game Boy, Windows operating systems, MS-DOS, and the Sony PlayStation. For this video, I'll be playing the PlayStation version, which is the one I owned growing up. When we boot the game up, we are taken to a mini screen that has an option called GameSpeak. And what this does is it gets you used to the controls because Oddworld is much more nuanced than most 2D platformers of this era. For example, yes, you can make him run, jump, roll, hang off platforms, and even sneak around. But you can also have him communicate with others. Making excellent use of the PlayStation 1 controller, we can hold L1 and press X, triangle, circle, or square, and have Abe give instructions to other Meducans. And by holding L2 and pressing these buttons, you learn to play a tune and fart. Lastly, Abe can chant by holding either L1 and L2 or L2 and R2. Okay, so we start the game and we're taken directly to the intro sequence. And what the modern gamer might appreciate is just how impressive the visuals and art style are. To be honest, this could pass for something similar to a PS3 cinematic.
This is Rupture Farms. They say it's the biggest meat processing
I especially enjoy
plant on
how dark
Oddworld.
and gritty the factory is. No, not even just the factory, the entire world that this takes place on. The story is direct and to the point. Abe works for Rupture Farms. Well, he's really a slave. He enjoys his job at the meat processing plant until he learns that due to overfarming and diminishing sales of their scrab cakes and paramite pies, the solution that CEO Mulk McGluckin... I said that right? I think I said that right. Anyway, the solution that he brings to the board of directors is that they will start processing Meducans and turn them all into a tasty, delicious, and possibly nutritious treat. The security cameras catch Abe trying to escape, and the game starts on the last frame of the intro sequence. Game creators, take notes. This is how you should make a game introduction sequence. Some storytelling, great visuals which help fill in the gaps, and keep it simple, stupid. The game begins, and immediately I'm thinking Prince of Persia and Heart of Darkness. Hey, didn't I mention Heart of Darkness before? Oh yeah, that was when I was reviewing the Casper review, yeah, that's right. Oddworld is a masterfully designed 2.5D game with pre-rendered backgrounds. We start off at Rupture Farms, where we receive guidance from the electronic message boards from above. I appreciate this simply because I've played many PlayStation 1 games that don't provide any direction outside of
Ho, 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 ho. Check the manual. Read, motherfucker, read.
Okay.
the objective of Oddworld Abe's Oddysee is simple. Save your fellow Meduckins and escape Rupture Farms. But accomplishing this task is easier said than done. You see, Oddworld is a strategy platformer. Every screen functions like a puzzle. Remember what those are? There are very specific ways you must go about doing things in order to progress, or you will get stuck. Don't worry, this game is forgiving. You get unlimited lives. The downside? You're gonna need it!
God,
Oh, so many
please,
things
no.
kill you in this game. Here's a short list to get you started. Falling carcasses, armed guards, confusing floor plans, electric fields, and these abominations of mankind. Remember the chanting power I mentioned earlier? You can use it to possess sligs, which leads to some comical results. That is, of course, unless there are security cameras around that also double as an anti-chanting weapon of sorts, I guess. When you come across other Meduckins, you will have to utilize your speech and have them follow you to freedom. That's what these circling birds represent. Which, by the way, when Abe comes back to life, similar birds fly down and become Abe. Meduckins and enemies are not always in the open. Sometimes they're hiding in the shadows. You'll have to pay special attention to shadowy areas and be sure to sneak past sleeping sligs. Eventually, you get to the point where you can escape the inside of Rupture Farms, and there is a sign that states if I leave, all of the remaining initial 28 Meduckins will die. So I went back and tried to find more, and I couldn't. So I figured I'd move on and... damn it! It is possible to save the other Meduckins. However, you'll need to play through this a few times. They are in pretty ridiculous spots, and they're very hard to save. And these spots will likely require a strategy guide to find, or a walkthrough, or just plain dumb luck. Outside of Rupture Farms, feels like I'm escaping a Supermax facility. There are sligs and scrabs all over the stockyard, not to mention security cameras and motion detecting lasers everywhere. Eventually we make it past the stockyards and onward to the outskirts, as the sun goes down and the land becomes shrouded in a moonlit blanket.
Now that's what I call poetry, baby.
It's here that we begin to really see what the rest of the game is going to be about. Trial and error, and trial and error. Did I also mention trial and error? Holy Toledo!
A big moon was before.
But
me.
eventually we see the
And its
moon
face-
with Abe's hand imprinted on it, and as soon as he notices, he falls to his death. Dr. Chang and I escaped to the desert, disguised as the aliens who took over humanity. And when they came down from the skies and invaded our planety...
Did you seriously just try to rhyme humanity and vanity?
Maybe.
Alright, Cody, get your head out of your butt and focus. I'm giving you temporary invincibility to find my super secret, super awesome mega weapon.
Okay, sweet, but two questions on that. So, question number one, what is the super secret awesome weapon you're talking about? And question number two, why do I need unlimited lives?
Well, it's in a minefield somewhere out there, and I'll explain later.
A minefield? I got about like 12 more questions before I do anything. I don't know about this.
Just go, Cody. We're running out of time.
I assume you're looking for this? I'm ready. Go ahead and tell me how this is gonna solve all of our problems.
Alright, Cody. This solves two problems. The first problem it solves is, well, me being thirsty. Thanks, buddy.
You son of a...
If we can go back and rebuild the time machine, maybe we can stop ourselves from going back to 1957 and restore the present. Alrighty, Cody, we need to get back to my place. It's just a hop, a jump, a skip that way.
No, this is where we're introduced to Big Face, who explains to Abe that he must overcome the challenges of the Paramites and the Scrabs in order to return to Rupture Farms and save the remaining Modokans. It is here that we learn the purpose of whistling and farting. Yes, farting. As they are used by Modokans as password systems. We are also introduced to the Elam, which Abe rides in places that require long-distance jumping. Elums love honey, so where there is honey, he will easily be distracted. And where there is honey, there are also bees! We begin our spiritual journey in the Temple of Paranomia, which we have to enter several doors and overcome challenges involving Paramites. Paramites have hand-shaped bodies and hiss like cats, hiss, whenever threatened. But they are cunning and subversive, as they have a tendency to lead you into traps where two of them will absolutely murder your face. In other situations, you might back one up into a corner, and that will end very poorly for you. Very poorly. There are two objectives in each door in order to progress in the game. Light the flint rock on fire using a lever, and find the musical notes for the bells by the exit. When you light the flint rock, the exit barricades itself, and the only way out is to ring the bells in the right order by meditating. You have to locate the notes. If you offhand know what they are, this will not work, and you have to locate them before meditating. These areas will put your control skills and problem-solving abilities to the test. Once you light all of the flint rock, you move on to the Paramite Gauntlet. I'll be conservative and say that this took me about 10,000 tries. Oh, okay, not really, but it is super difficult. Once we make it through the Paramites Temple, we naturally go to Scrabania and do the same thing. Scrabs are quite different from Paramites. They don't work together. In fact, they're so territorial they will kill one another on sight. Don't let naivety get the best of you. Scrabs are just as difficult to maneuver around as Paramites are, and you will have to use critical thinking to survive. I would also make note of these teleportation tunnels, which you'll most certainly be having to implement into your strategies. May I also just take a moment to say how ugly and disgusting all of these creatures are? I love it! Now for the next gauntlet, the Scrabs. It's nice that you can go and get a sneak peek of what the gauntlet is going to look like, but my bad short-term memory is going to make this completely pointless. For some reason, one in which I am certainly not complaining about, you can trust me on that, the Scrab Gauntlet is so much easier than the Paramites Gauntlet. Now that Abe has passed the final test, he now has the 2 tattoos on his hand and the 1 on his chest, which sometimes allows him to turn into the Modokan god Shrikul. I think I'm saying that right. Let me know if I'm wrong, I apologize. But he is now ready to return to Rupture Farms and save his fellow Modokans. But it's not going to be easy, my friends, as the road to Rupture Farms is paved in shit. We return the same way that we came, but in an attempt to beef up security and ensure no other Modokans can escape, they added some frustratingly difficult death traps. Hopefully you brought some patience, because this gift shop ain't selling any, sister. So you're back at Rupture Farms with the difficulty cranked to 11, and this is where we travel to the 4 sectors, or zulags of the plant, to use our problem-solving skills to defeat sligs and slogs and save the others. Unless you're a heartless monster, then you can just kill the other Meducans, I guess. Okay, so just remember, whenever you possess one of these sligs with that gun, don't kill them right away, especially in this part, because there are certain sections that have like 17 to 25 slogs coming out at a time, and if you don't have that slig, you are basically dinner.
I found the switch to kill most of the power, and there I was, in the final hour.
At last, we've made it to the final stretch of the game, where Abe has 2 minutes to escape his captors in the ultimate gauntlet of survival.
Well, I rescued Budakins. But who's gonna rescue me?
There are 2 endings. If you rescued only half or fewer of the Meducans, you receive the bad ending, where Abe dies. But if you rescued more than half, you receive the hero's ending. So, remind me again what the purpose of going out to the desert was?
I don't know. To fulfill your destiny?
Well, just what in the hell do you two think you're doing?
Ah, shit, we've been caught.
Damn right, you're supposed to be enslaving humanity!
We're just taking a break. On a break. Take a bite.
No breaks! Come on, take these guns and get those weaklings to work until they drop! And that's the story of how 2 oithlings defeated a whole planet worth of us aliens!
Oh, come on, Grandpa. You really expect us to believe all that bunk? 2 humans? Grandpa's off his space meds again.
Oh, kids these days.
We never even invaded the planet Earth.